Hello, everyone. Um, Today I wanted to try something a little different. Um, it's actually the exact same list, but I've kind of been unimpressed with Winter Orb lately, so I'm going to try a different card for the Snowco matchup. I purchased a couple Infernal Contracts, and we were kind of talking about maybe using that. Um, as a card against the sort of control decks with Swords to Plowshares because if you have like a Death Shadow and it gets Swords to Plowshare, you're at like 13 life or so. You can cast an Infernal Contract, draw 4 cards, and then go back down to 6 or something, and then you've got a nice shadow. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. It's the exact same list I've been playing, um, but it has Infernal Contract instead of Winter Orb. So we're going to give it a try in a league and see how it does. Winter Orb is probably better, but I don't know. It seemed like a fun card to try. Infernal Contract. Um, they were talking about maybe splashing for Painful Truths, but it kind of made sense that Infernal Contract might be a little better, even if you are at a high life total, because then it can put you into, you know, the Death Shadow sweet spot, like 9 life or something, 8 life. Then you have a nice 5/5 shadow. And against a deck like Snowco, 4 cards for half your life is actually a pretty good trade. So, all right, first match, we won the roll. We'll go first. This hand is a mulligan. This hand also is a mulligan. No lands. I will keep this hand, and we will put a Watery Grave and a Marsh Flats on the bottom. I think I'm just going to pass here without pondering because we don't know what we're playing against, and just in case. This way we have a card to pitch for Force of Will. Snow-covered island into Preordain, so it looks like we may be facing Show and Tell, but everybody plays snow-covered basics these days, so it really could be anything. Stubborn Denial. So now I don't feel quite as hesitant about using my Ponder. Now that we have another blue card to pitch just in case. Mire, Delver, Fatal Push. It's not fantastic, but it does give us a card to play this turn. No shuffle. And then hopefully it flips next turn or something. Yeah, Brainstorm is fine. Force of Negation, which we will reveal. Played the Wasteland there so we can hard cast Force of Negation if we have to. Lightning Bolt. Okay, what the heck deck is this? Some sort of like Grixis control deck or something? I think I'm going to Force of Negation that. Dark Ritual. Buried Alive. I'm going to force that. I don't want some sort of Arclight Phoenix. Move a daze. Alright. Well, that'll resolve. Alright, so that's game. So what are our best cards here? Grafdiggers, Surgical, and what are our worst cards? I'm thinking maybe I don't really know what creatures they play besides the Phoenixes. I think I'll probably cut the Snuff Outs because this is kind of more of an unfair deck. Maybe a Fatal Push. Brazen Borrower doesn't seem like the greatest. Could maybe bring in Narset. We did see some cantrips, so maybe Narset might be pretty good, at least better than Brazen Borrower. And we saw Daze. Yeah, I think this seems fine. I'm gonna submit that. We will play first. Keep. I'll keep this. Probably start off with the Grafdigger's Cage. Wow, they mulligan down to 4. There's a Ponder. think I will ponder here. A daze. No, that's fine. Okay, and just play my Underground Sea and pass. Now we can hardcast Force of Negation. Baleful Strix. I sideboarded out all of my removal. Yeah, that's fine, I suppose. So I'll definitely, now that I've seen Baleful Strix, I think I'm going to bring in Plague Engineers and maybe Fatal Pushes. I feel like this is worth casting a Stubborn Denial on. Force of Will, okay. Perhaps he did not. They did not find another land. Okay, with this I can actually play my Death Shadow. Yeah, I think I'll counter this. I feel like he's brainstorm locked, or they are brainstorm locked, so feels pretty good. I'll just trade the Death Shadow for the Baleful Strix here. Now we'll cycle this. Play the Delver of Secrets, which will flip on that Brainstorm next turn. And I could Surgical the Baleful Strix here, but I don't really see a reason to. And they scoop. So now that we've seen Baleful Strix, I do feel like maybe I feel like him is actually pretty good here. And I feel like Plague Engineer is fine. Maybe we'll board out. So we're going to be on the draw. Maybe we'll board out a couple days. A couple force. Bring in these 5 cards. And then maybe Force of Negation as well. feel like that's fine. We have a few ways to kill a Baleful Strix. I'm not really sure we need Stubborn Denial against this deck, though. So maybe an additional Force of Will is better than that. We still have 19 blue cards. I feel like that's probably enough for Force of Will. Yeah, I think that's fine. Come to think of it, this might actually be a good matchup for Infernal Contract as well, but I did not really think to bring that in. I'll keep this. And once again, they mulligan quite a few times. And they concede, so it kind of didn't matter what we did. Interesting. Maybe that's the reason why you don't really see much of that Buried Alive Phoenix deck anymore. It seems kind of inconsistent. It's a cool deck, but maybe just a little too inconsistent. All right, so 1-0 so far. Beating Arclight Phoenix. Grixis, Arclight Phoenix. All right, we will play first. This hand is keepable. It's not really the best hand if our opponent is playing combo, but it seems like a fine hand anyway. We'll be able to play a pretty sweet Death Shadow if our opponent plays a creature here. Next turn at least. Mystic Sanctuary. I feel obligated to Wasteland here. Making this day is pretty potent. And we'll Thoughtseize then. They reveal a hand of Snow-Covered Mountain, Volcanic Island, Day's Undoing, huh? Okay. Narset, Shark Typhoon, Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to take the Swords to Plowshares here. I feel kind of insulated against all of their stuff by this Daze here, and the fact that we have a pretty decent clock. I will Ponder. That seems pretty sweet. I think we'll put Thoughtseize, Brainstorm, Street Wraith, no shuffle, and then we can just sort of cycle the Street Wraith as a surprise, kind of conceal the size of our Death Shadow for now. So at this point, I feel like I will cycle it, because then we can Thoughtseize them. So what am I most afraid of them doing? I mean, I can daze something, next turn if they go for a Planeswalker. So I think I'm just going to take the Shark Typhoon, make it so they can't cycle a blocker. And I'll go ahead and Brainstorm. Don't think we've played a land this turn. Ooh. So I think I'll put Snuff out and Gurmag on top. I'm not going to play this Death Shadow in case they draw Swords to Plowshares. Ponder is fine. Maybe I should have brainstormed pre-combat so that when I find that fetch land, I can deal more damage. Okay. We win the game anyway. So this seems like a pretty good matchup for Infernal Contract. Narset. We saw a lot of small planeswalkers like CMC3 planeswalkers, so I'm going to bring in the Eliminates, and the Hymns also seem pretty good. It's like a Days Undoing deck, so I'm guessing it probably has Hull Breacher as well. I feel like these 8 cards are pretty good. It looked like it couldn't really play around Wasteland, but I think it probably has enough basics that I could shave a single Wasteland. Oops, that I did not mean to submit. I was meaning to resize my window. I think I'm going to board out the Snuff Outs, the Fatal Pushes, and I think we could probably do without... Let's see, we're on the draw, so I'll cut a couple of Dazes and 1 Force of Will, and I will submit that. This seems fine against whatever the heck it is that we're playing against. Brazen Bar, we're going to bounce the Planeswalkers or just be a flash threat. Maybe bounce a Narset in response to Days Undoing or something like that. I'll keep this, I think. Yep, Ponder is fine. I think I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith. Cycle another Street Wraith. And probably play the Delver of Secrets here. Yeah, I'll reveal that. We'll attack with the insect. Yep, swords to plowshares. You know, I could counter this. It does feel a little weird, but I've got quite a few cards. No, I don't think I'm going to counter this. So let's dig for another threat here. Gurmag is pretty good here. But I won't be able to play it this turn, so I'm going to put Wasteland, Watery Grave, Gurmag, no shuffle. This way, when we draw our Watery Grave next turn, maybe we can cast the Narset. Brainstorm, sure. And now, we're going to be back to a life total where we can play Death Shadow if we draw it. So I feel like I'm fine to fight over this. Ooh, Infernal Contract. Very tempted to take the Infernal Contract here. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Infernal Contract. Just go full greed. But, of course, I don't want to leave myself too dead to a shark token. But, I don't know. I feel like it's fine. So maybe here the right play is to... well, first I think we use this. Days. I think I like Thoughtseize here. Because we can Thoughtseize them, see what they are kind of sitting on over there. If they cycle the shark card, then we have an eliminate for the creature, and we can follow up with a Gurmag. Okay. Looks like we will be doing the eliminate on the shark token. Okay, Moat, Fluster, Storm, Swords to Plowshares to Fairy. I don't really like any of these cards. Which of these is the hardest to recover from if they play it? probably Moat, because the Swords to Plowshares turns on Infernal Contract. We can eliminate the Shark. However, do we want to eliminate the Shark, or do we want to save the Eliminate for that Teferi? I think we eliminate the Shark, because then Narset sort of prevents the card draw. Okay. There's one unknown card in hand. Maybe I will ponder to sort of just set us up for whatever he might have. Ooh, him is pretty good here. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Narset Contract him. We're not going to shuffle. He'll probably just Flusterstorm this, but whatever. It's one less Flusterstorm for Infernal Contract. Hull Breacher. Okay. And Flusterstorm. So he still has the Teferi, he still has the Swords to Plowshares. It was a pretty brutal card for him to have drawn. I'm kind of surprised he didn't play it before I pondered. Yep, there's Teferi. Well, now I really need to draw an out to that Hull Breacher. Oh God. Are you serious? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna scoop here, because like I'm drawing Infernal Contract next turn, I'm drawing Narset after that. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. I'm just gonna scoop to that. Okay, so now I think I'm going to bring all of my dazes in. Come on, Daze. Get in the deck. Bring in the Force. So now that we've seen Hull Breacher, I feel like we need some way of dealing with that. I mean, we have the Eliminates, but the Eliminates are kind of stretched with the different Planeswalkers. Why won't this last Daze put in my... Maybe this is a bug? I'm not sure. Let's see. I'll sort by converted mana cost here. So Wasteland is all right. I don't even know if we want all three, though. I think I might take out one more. I definitely want all 4 Dazes. I don't know why this isn't letting me put the Daze in my deck. I'm just going to try putting everything in there. So I can put everything in my deck except for my 4th Daze. I might be submitting a bug ticket to Wizards about that, because I'd really prefer to be able to play with the cards in my deck. I don't like Surgicals. I don't like Karakas. I don't like Plague Engineer. I feel like we do want a couple snuff outs for, Hull Breacher in case we come across it. I don't think we need the Force of Negation, although it might be nice against some of those cards. Let's see, we still have to take out 6 cards. Take out all the Fatal Pushes. Take out Ratchet Bomb, take out Grafdigger's Cage. We got to cut 2 cards, so I'm thinking maybe maybe we'll just have 1 Snuff Out and the 2 Eliminate, and that'll be good. And because we've seen Hull Breacher and Narset, I'm thinking maybe we'll only have 1 Infernal Contract, and that looks fine. Really would like to play with that 4th Daze, though. Really would like to. I mean, Daze, when you're on the play, is one of the best cards in your deck, so. Something wrong? How come it's not starting? It seems like my connection should still be fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is classic Magic Online behavior. The timer has completely run down, but the game is not started. I'm going to restart my application real quick, so I'll just go ahead and pause this for now. All right. So as soon as Magic Online loads, we should be in our match again. If and when it loads. Luckily, I'll have this on video, so, I can prove what I was actually experiencing in the event that I have to talk to their support team. I don't think this is my internet, because my internet appears to be working fine. Yeah, all of my everything appears to be working fine in my browser and so forth, as far as my internet is concerned. Maybe not, though? I don't know. This is kind of weird. Well, shoot. Wasn't expecting anything like this to happen while recording, but that's just kind of the way it goes, I suppose. Ziggy_Stardust. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording again. We'll see if I can get back into our match here. So, I tried reconnecting once again after power cycling my modem, and I'm hoping that that it loads this match. It's looking like it is. Okay, here we go. Looks like it finally worked. Ish. Can't actually click on anything, so okay. It's taking a minute here. I have no idea what's really happening right now. Magic Online, really just not cooperating with my computer, I guess. Okay, I think it, okay, so now I have lost the match due to inaction. Well, there's one that I'm going to be definitely doing a reimbursement request for. It's a bummer too. That hand looked pretty good. We will play another match here. Most unfortunate, but that's how it goes. We will play first. This hand has multiple Delvers. I think it's fine. Our opponent mulligans to 5. And we'll lead off on the Delver of Secrets. And it's a snow-covered island. We will not reveal Street Wraith. I think I will cycle it. Okay, Fatal Push. I'm going to attack with the Delver here. I'm going to play another Delver, and then I think I'll probably Ponder, and we can hopefully find a blue card and set up our Delvers to flip next turn here. I'm going to get a Watery Grave this time to try and make it so we can play a Death Shadow if we draw one. Oh, okay, another Delver of Secrets. So I'm going to put... I think I'm going to put Flooded Strand, Daze, and then Delver on top. No shuffle. Unfortunately, we won't be able to flip this third Delver for a little while, but that's okay. At least we have a card that we can pitch to Force of Will if, you know, there's any kind of big spell that we need to counter. Ooh. They did mull a couple times, so maybe they're stuck on one land. They mulled to 5, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they have. Okay, there is an Ancient Tomb, a Lotus Petal. Something tells me we're going to get Shown and Told, possibly. Okay, maybe not. There's a Daze. pretty solid. We are going to wasteland their ancient tomb. Cunning Wish. Wonder if I should daze this. I'm thinking that they're probably cunning wishing for a Veil of Summer, maybe something like that. In which case, I think we force the cunning wish. Because we don't want them to end up with a Veil of Summer. They force our force. We could force them to use their Lotus Petal here. But yeah, you know, I'm kind of liking forcing them to use their Lotus Petal here. Because then they'd have to find another source of green mana and spells to they would need to find another source of green mana to be able to cast the Veil of Summer before they resolve whatever, you know, show and tell whatever sorcery they want to resolve here. And we've got a pretty fast clock, so pause next turn. Well, that's kind of a bummer. But on the plus side, presumably it'll take them a little while to cast that. Okay, so it's looking like Sneak and Show. I'm going to take out the Snuff Outs and the Fatal Pushes. We're going to bring in him. And kind of feel like we could bring in Infernal Contract in this case. Surgical Extraction might be okay. Brazen Borrower. So we saw Cunning Wish. We know that they have Omniscience. What does Brazen Borrower really do here for us? Brazen Borrower can bounce an Omniscience or a Gristlebrand, but Gristlebrand will probably draw first. So we're gonna bring in the Karakas, because Karakas can bounce just like if they go for show and tell. God, I kind of want the Narsets, and I kind of want the Infernal Contracts. And I kind of want the Surgical Extractions, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe this is fine. I think, let's see, is Narset better than Brazen Borrower? I think I actually just kind of like everything the way it is. Maybe we can bring in, let's see, we have room for one card. I think I'll bring in one Infernal Contract, and we'll just call that good. Okay, so this hand has the turn to him. We are on the draw. And usually these guys... Let's see. I think I need more interaction than this, though. I think I'll keep it. Because I can ponder into more interaction if I need to. I wish we had drawn a better card than that, though. So here's the Force of Will. We're going to draw that, draw Brainstorm next turn, and we can Brainstorm away some lands later. Or we can just go ahead and cast a Hymn next turn. All right. There is an ancient tomb. And here's show and tell. I think the odds are pretty high that they have a counterspell, but you gotta at least try. Okay, maybe not. And now here we have a perfect opportunity to hymn them. I feel like if they had the counter magic, they would have used it. So we will try and just shred their hand a bit. We hit sneak attack and ponder. Hopefully they didn't find another show and tell into some sort of fatty or something. We will see. Yep, there's a show and tell. I guess, okay, we don't really do anything. I was really hoping it was just an Emrakul. Damn. So they managed to fight through all that interaction. We will brainstorm. None of that is what we need. We can go ahead and wasteland the let's see here. They're going to be able to get enough mana really easily to be able to just do whatever they want next turn. So I don't know. Maybe we just waste a volcanic island. Play an angler. So that if they... I don't know. I'm kind of just, at this point, making a desperation play. I realize now that, I mean, we've probably lost this game already. But maybe I should have played the Marsh Flat so that I could then play Death Shadow and Gurmag Angler. That way, just in case they aren't able to, like, show and tell in an Emrakul or, like, show and tell in a sneak attack into Emrakul. You know, it makes it a little more difficult for them on the following turn, and we have a chance to find a Karakas. But I think this game's over. Might have been better to do the Marsh Flats instead of the Wasteland, because he's drawing a lot of cards, so Wasteland is probably not very good. Well, no, he can't use his Ancient Tomb, so at least not until after he attacks with Gristlebrand. Yeah, last turn I really think I should have played the Marsh Flats, played the Death Shadow and the Gurmag Angler. I think that might have been a better play. Oh well. Gonna be a third game probably. And we'll be on the play, so that's always better. Well, at least I can put my Death Shadow into play now. There's an Omniscience, and he probably has the Cunning Wish. Ah, there's an Emrakul. Okay, we'll concede. Okay, so we're playing against Omni Sneak. I am thinking that maybe we could go down a Gurmag Angler and bring in the Surgical Extractions for show and tell. I feel like that can be good. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I'm just going to submit that. So we will play first. This hand does not have any colored mana, so it's a mulligan. This hand I feel is fine, so I'm going to keep this. And I think, let's see, I think we probably put Street Wraith on bottom. I feel like Thoughtseize is a fine turn one play here. So we're going to take the show and tell here. Plays Polluted Delta. And there's the Lotus Petal. I'm going to cycle Street Wraith here. Another Wasteland. I'm going to Brainstorm. I'm going to put back one Wasteland and one Marsh Flats. I want that Marsh Flats, so I'm going to cycle for it. And now I'm going to pass the turn with Daze and Force of Will up. And I'm going to crack that Marsh Flats before I draw that Wasteland. Just going to let that Brainstorm resolve. I'm going to go kind of low on life here, but that's because I want a Death Shadow to be big if we find one. Brainstorm, Ponder, Underground Sea. I'm not going to shuffle. We'll Brainstorm. Put Wasteland and I guess Underground Sea on top. Now I have a lot of counter magic. which I feel will be important on this upcoming turn. If need be, I can use every single card in my hand to fight off an incoming show and tell or sneak attack. I think I'll pitch the days here. There's a force pitching Omniscience. So hopefully his last card is not something like Flusterstorm. That would be bad. Yeah, I think I pitched the Brazen Bar here. So now we know he has a Grizzlebrand and one other card in his hand. We get to Ponder. Surgical Wasteland Daze. I do kind of want to surgical the show and tell. And I also kind of want to wasteland the City of Traders. But man, I feel like we really need a clock. Yeah, I'm just going to shuffle. Okay, well, Brazen Borrower, I guess, is better than nothing in the clock department, so... A little concerned if he just has straight up show and tell. Yep, that resolves, I guess. Petty theft. Ooh, Thoughtseize is very good here. Sneak attack in a heartbeat. I'm just going to pass. Leave a Brazen Borrower. Leave the Delver in our hand just in case we draw another Force of Will or something. Ah, look at that. Now at least I have a little bit of insurance. I think I will brainstorm here. Watery Grave and I guess Flooded Strand. Ponder. That's fine with me. They shuffle. I think I'll just keep the Delver in hand, and we can crack the Flooded Strand before our next draw, and then we don't have to draw that. Watery Grave opens up the possibility of drawing a more interactive spell. Nice. Now we have double Force of Will backup. And I think this one should be in the bag here. Cunning Wish. What could he be getting with that? Perhaps like a Flusterstorm? I think I'm going to counter it. Force Pitching Daze. Gosh. Well, so if I force that Cunning Wish, then that leaves me open to a Show and Tell. But if I let it resolve, then he gets a Flusterstorm. Oh, you know what? I could pay for Flusterstorm. I think that's fine. If he gets Overmaster... No, he can't get Overmaster. That's a sorcery. He could get Pyroblast. Pyroblast, I think, would be pretty bad. We'll see, though. We'll see what they get. Kozilek's Return. Two damage to each creature. Can't tap that. I think we just have to go for it here. I can counter this, and I think I'm going to. We now cannot cycle these Street Wraiths, but what we can do is we can Spell Pierce, okay. So I think he has Emrakul and Gristlebrand. That's all he has left. No, he brainstormed. He might have other stuff. Or did he brainstorm? No, he pondered. So yeah, I think he just has Emrakul and Gristlebrand left. Alright. That should be it. Okay. We win the match. 2-1 against Sneak and Show. That was a very close game, though. We are on the play. Yeah, I'll keep this hand. We've got Delver's Secrets and some interactive spells. I think I'll lead off on Underground Sea just because it doesn't look like we'll be playing a Shadow anytime soon. If we draw Brainstorm, this way we can shuffle cards away. Windswept Heath Once Upon a Time. So it's either Elves or Maverick or Turbo Depths or Cloud Coast. Green Sun Zenith X equals 0. I'm fine with dazing that. Elves is a very tough matchup. So we flip our Delver. Play our Underground Sea. Now we have Daze and Stubborn Denial. Swing with our Insect. Kind of hoping to just tempo them out now. Might be hard to accomplish if they have a good draw. Featuring the Shepherd. And there's the Shepherd, so that's going to make anything else we do difficult. So what I can do here is I can play Flooded Strand to hide that we have Wasteland. I can leave up the Brazen Borrower to bounce the Shepherd if they play anything that is, you know, a must counter. Like Natural Order or something. Visionary, sure. Three mana. A Nettle Sentinel, sure. So what I could do here is I could bounce and then daze this, which seems like a fine play. But then they might be able to resolve something scarier. I think I have to do it. I'm going to get the Underground Sea here, because if you get to the point where you are low enough to play a Death Shadow, they often just beat you with beatdowns. They just win the race. So I feel like the best thing to do here is daze this and then play Wasteland next turn, Wasteland the Gaia's Cradle, and just try and win with the Insect, and maybe possibly this Brazen Borrower a little later if I can. I feel like that's kind of the path to victory, if there is a path to victory in this particular game. another wasteland. So yeah, maybe. I mean, if I get lucky here and I'm able to mana screw them a bit, slow them down enough to finish the deal with the insect, and then the borrower, if I get a chance, then that could be how I win this match. It's very difficult without Lightning Bolt. Like, one of the main ways that I'm used to beating elves with Delver decks is by, like, you know, getting in there a few times with the insects, and then hopefully you just, you know, you have Lightning Bolt or something and you can finish them off. You know, you can at least like brainstorm into some Lightning Bolts. Usually you have to use your early Lightning Bolts on creatures, but later in the game, you know, any Lightning Bolts that you draw can like kind of just finish the job. We are in kind of a racing situation now, which I think, I don't know. It's always so difficult. There's an Allosaurus Shepherd. So our counter spells are now totally dead. So I feel like I have kind of two options at this point. Oh, that's a nice draw. We are going to, I mean, unfortunately, we can't really Fatal Push the Shepherd. We can Fatal, I mean, we can, but then he just gets to return it to his hand with Wirewood Symbiote. So maybe the path here is to Wasteland his Bayou. Wasteland their Bayou. Then it's a Once Upon a Time that can't be countered. A creature or land. I really don't know how good this is going to be here, but I think I'm going to push the... So if I push the Shepherd, he bounces with Symbiote, and then I can daze the Once Upon a Time. I think that might be what I need to do. I could be totally wrong here. Okay. Now we're gonna daze that Once Upon a Time. And I think... No, I already cast the Wasteland this turn. Or, I mean, not cast, but I already played the Wasteland this turn, so I don't think I can play another land. And we get to attack with our insect. So they kind of have 3 more turns to do something. 2 more if they have to crack a fetch land. There is a Shepherd, and there is a Quirion Ranger. At this point, they might just be able to clock me, because they now have a 2-turn clock, whereas I have a 3-turn clock. Well, this is kind of tough. What is the right thing to do here? I can attack, they go to 4. They attack me, I go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I go to 5? Let's see. Ponder doesn't really do anything. I can't counter anything because of Allosaurus Shepherd. I think I just have to ponder here, and I don't know exactly what it is that I'm looking for, but yeah, Snuff Out's kind of no bueno because I'm taking so much damn damage. I'm going to shuffle. I don't really know what I'm even looking for, but I think not attacking with the insect is a losing proposition. And I think attacking with the insect is also a losing proposition. So, yeah, I basically just I don't really see what I can do. Maybe if I draw like a Death Shadow or something, but you know, I'm gonna go to 5 here, and then it's gonna be way too difficult for me to. So I guess I'm just kind of hoping he doesn't have a green spell to untap his Nettle Sentinels with. I think that's like pretty much the only thing I can hope for here. And the chances of that are obviously like extremely unlikely. So yeah, oh well. It was a very close game against Elves. Horrendous matchup. Utterly, utterly horrendous. With this Allosaurus Shepherd. It's too good. And he's probably going to find a heritage druid or something. I don't even know why they would need to. I mean, all they really need is another Nettle Sentinel or something. I mean, there's nothing in my deck that does it at this point for us. I have no reach. Oh well. Darn. Well, maybe what I really did have to do was play more lands, play the Brazen Borrower, and then at least my clock is fast enough to actually win the game. But I feel like leaving them with the Cradle and leaving them with the Bayou was kind of dangerous. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's a bad matchup. But we do get to bring in our Plague Engineers and our Ratchet Bomb, our Eliminates, and our Hymns and Grafdigger's Cage. I don't know how good Grafdigger's really is. So we're playing against Elves. That damn Allosaurus Shepherd. What do we want to board out? We are on the play. I feel like the forces probably have to be cut. I think Stubborn Denial probably isn't good enough. And maybe 2 days. Now, at least we're not as weak against Allosaurus Shepherd. We have not too many dead cards. There could be a case for Narset, but I don't know about that. Like, what do I cut for Narset? Dazes, I guess? I mean, it's not pretty, but Elves is really not a deck that blue-black Death Shadow can beat super consistently, I don't think. This is fine. We have the Delver, we can flip it. Hopefully. I'm gonna try and keep the life total high again so that if we get in, like, we kind of almost won that race last game, so I feel like doing the fetching like Underground Seas and stuff like that, trying to keep your life total high, unless you actually get a Shadow. It's just that they have so many ways to negate Shadow, like blocking with a Dryad Arbor and bouncing with Quirion Ranger, or, you know, blocking with an Elf, bouncing with Wirewood Symbiote. There's a lot of things they can do against just, you know, like the big creature Death Shadow plan. Snuff out. So we could go ahead and just snuff out that Birchlore Rangers. I think in an odd way, like, I'm fine with that. This might be like totally terrible. I don't know. I really don't have enough experience playing against Elves in recent matches. Ooh, Fatal Push is good. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're one short on the Angler. But we will be able to play either Angler or Narset next turn. I feel like Angler's probably the right play. Just really pressure them. This is probably going to be an Abrupt Decay on the Insect, but maybe not. Visionary, okay. Feels like kind of a waste to use the Fatal Push on the Visionary. But I kind of feel like I need to use this mana, and then I can play the Gurmag next turn. Or maybe I play the Narset next turn. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm going to fetch a tapped Watery Grave here. Modern style. Ooh. Plague Engineer is pretty good. So we have a few options. I think the best option is to play the Angler now, and then we let them do whatever they want next turn. Play the Plague Engineer, which hopefully kills at least a couple things. And then we just kind of continue beating down. And hopefully we can avoid a Glimpse of Nature for like a couple turns. So we'll see what they do exactly. I feel like this has kind of gone how you need a game against Elves to go to win with this deck. Like, immediate removal, immediate clock flip. It's going to be a lot harder on the draw, because, you know, then you're kind of having to answer whatever they do on their turn. And against Elves, that's usually like, you know, playing a million Elves. Oh god. Okay. So luckily we have this Plague Engineer here, which is kind of just like a strange time walk. Ah, this is perfect actually. I'm gonna get rid of that symbiote. Now we can cast the Plague Engineer. Okay. They just scoop after that, because yeah, it's kind of difficult to recover from. I think I'm just going to go ahead and so on the draw, Force of Will gets a little better, but I'm not sure if it's good enough. I'm just gonna submit the same deck again. The counter magic just feels so bad. It seems like they can get the Shepherd pretty consistently. So, I mean, this hand is good. We curve into a Plague Engineer, which is definitely, you want to be able to do that against Elves. A hand with Plague Engineer is always better than a hand without Plague Engineer. We can play a Delver on turn 1 or Ponder, maybe hitting a Snuff Out for whatever creature they play on turn 1. And then turn 2 we can eliminate, and hopefully if we draw a land by turn 3 we can play the Plague Engineer. So Birchlore Rangers. Him to Torok. So I have two options here. I can Ponder hoping to find a Snuff Out, or I can just play the Delver. I feel like maybe getting a clock going is more important in this particular situation, so I'm just going to play the Delver. A good draw for next turn would be, you know, just any kind of land besides Wasteland, because I'm kind of more interested in just curving out. Of course, against Elves, there always is that very real possibility that they just win before you even get to play your Plague Engineer. This Ratchet Bomb is looking all right too, but we'll see what the rest of their turn consists of. Ah, damn, a Glimpse of Nature. We're just going to yield to Glimpse of Nature this turn, and everything is going to resolve. I'm just going to F6, in fact. Just let them do whatever they want. Okay. Flooded Strand, no. However, that card is all right here. Um, so let's see, what gives me the highest chance of winning? Maybe eliminating the Birchlore Rangers, and then next turn I play Plague Engineer. I could cast him. I think Hymn to Torah probably feels like the best play. If my plan is to eventually play Plague Engineer. So we're going to add black. We're going to hymn them. And I think Delver is just going to stay back on D. Then next turn we can play the Plague Engineer. Unless they kill us this turn. Yeah, there's definitely ways they can just kill us, potentially. Does he have another natural order? If they have another natural order, that would be, that's one way that I think we can just possibly lose the game. Yeah, there's another natural order. For how much can they do it for? Oh, Progenitus, damn. Okay. Well, there's literally nothing I can do against that. So I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I have no edict effects in my deck. Ah, damn. Felt like we might have actually stood a chance that game. Yeah, there's literally no way I can win, but I don't know. I may as well at least just play the Plague Engineer. Send a message. Okay. I just realized that maybe the right play was to ponder there for like Death Shadow or like... Yeah, I think so my... I mean, he attacks me next turn. I go to 7. Yeah, I think... I mean, it's very difficult. I don't think I'm winning either way, but I think I had to actually look for... I think I had to actually look for Death Shadow that turn. Even then, I mean, I can't deal 20 damage. Even if I did have a Death Shadow. I don't know. Sometimes, instead of scooping, I just like to desperately try and find things. I mean, I'm dead here, but... yeah, oh well, I'm just gonna scoop. That's Elves for you. You know, you can, like, draw the nut and still lose pretty frequently, so... Alright, let's play our last match here. That was kind of a heartbreaking loss to Elves, but what can you do? I mean, you know, we hymned them. Maybe the right play was to eliminate the Birchlore Ranger, but then he is able to play... yeah, okay, maybe the right play there was to eliminate the Birchlore. I'm going to keep this Because if I eliminate the Birchlore Ranger, then he just has access to, I guess, like 2-3 mana tops. So yeah, we're gonna force that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and cycle this first to see maybe, you know, another blue card that we might have the option. So yeah, I'm just gonna force this. We are going to get rid of the Ponder here. And I think leading off on Watery Grave untapped, Delver of Secrets is fine. Okay, Chrome Mox. Goblin Ringleader with 1 mana. Yeah, that's fine. So we're playing against like Goblin Stompy? Goblin Lackey, Goblin Rabblemaster, Goblin Matron. Okay. I'll take 2. So I really need more cards in my graveyard to be able to play my Gurmag Angler. I will not reveal the Delver of Secrets. So I have a couple options here. I could play the other Delver and then Ponder, putting him on potentially like a 2-turn clock. Which is a little scary. But I think I have to do it. Because otherwise, I sort of get the feeling that trying to play a longer game will be more difficult for me. So this is my turn 2. I cannot play that Wasteland. So I could flip both of my Delvers on that Ponder. So I think I'm going to put Delver, Ponder, Wasteland, no shuffle. And then I attack for 1. He goes to 13. Next turn I attack for 6. Of course, they're going to be able to do quite a bit this next turn, I think. You know, they can Matron for whatever they want. They have another Chrome Mox, so they have another source of red mana. But I'm kind of hoping, let's see, if they double tap Ancient Tomb, they go to 9, and then maybe there's a chance for me to do something there. We can't play the Gurmag next turn unless I... yeah, I don't think we can play the Gurmag next turn. Maybe. I don't know, I have that Ponder on the top of my library. So we know there's a Lackey, a Rabblemaster, a Matron. They can Matron for Chain Whirler. Yeah, Lackey's fine. They can Matron for Chain Whirler. They can cast the Chain Whirler. Well, now they can't. So there's the Rabblemaster. So I take 3. Okay. So there goes the Rabble Master and the Lackey. Our Delvers are going to flip. Let's see, Wasteland puts us to our 4th card. Ponder to our 5th card. I'm going to start by, let's Ponder. I can maybe Wasteland my own Watery Grave to put enough cards in there for the Angler. I'm going to shuffle that. Ooh, Death Shadow. Now I don't even have to Wasteland my own land. Now I can just play the Shadow. We could keep the Wasteland up. We attack with these. And I think I will Wasteland now. So what they can do is they can Matron for something, forcing me to block the... Well, let's see what they do exactly. Okay, so now I can't even counter the Matron. I might be dead. We'll see. Not exactly sure what they can do. I haven't played against goblins too frequently. So yeah, there's the Matron. Maybe they make an error and try and find a goblin that, you know, that I can daze. Oh, Gem Palm Incinerator. I see. So he's going to cycle that, targeting the Death Shadow. And that I can't even daze. So yeah, that's probably just game, I guess. Would have been game either way. And now I die. But this game, this particular match gets a lot better after boarding. All right. So we're playing against a Goblin Stompy deck. I'm going to bring in the Plague Engineers, going to bring in the Hymns, the Ratchet Bomb, and the Eliminates. Some of the worst cards against Goblins, I think, are Stubborn Denial, probably. They do have Chalice, but I'm on the play, so I think I'm going to board out the Forces, and let's see, I need to board out 2 cards. I think I can board out maybe 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Street Wraith. Force of Negation might be better to board out than one of those. Yeah, Force of Negation, and then I think we bring in that Street Wraith, and I think this looks fine. Yeah, I think this is fine against Goblin Stompy. Play first. I think I'll keep this hand. It's not the best hand, but at least, you know, we have the turn 1 Thoughtseize, we've got some cantrips, we've got a Brazen Borrower to, you know, do some tempo stuff. I think I am going to get a Watery Grave here. Because, like, getting a fast Shadow is pretty good against goblins. And I feel like there's a good chance we can, you know, maybe find a Shadow with a Brainstorm or Ponder. So I'm going to do something kind of painful here, especially the fact that they mulligan makes me feel pretty good about the turn 1 Thoughtseize and all that. Okay, so Mountain, bunch of nonsense, Skirk Prospector. I think I'm going to take the Prospector here. Those other cards are kind of scary, but like I can at least like do stuff before then, presumably. And I can always like leave up the mana to Petty Theft, like Blood Moon or something, so I don't get immediately screwed. So there's a Flooded Strand. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. So I don't think we will be needing this Wasteland, at least not anytime soon. And I'm going to put Thoughtseize on top. I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith, which puts Thoughtseize into our hand. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and fetch Underground Sea now. And now at least I can Thoughtseize away the Blood Moon, I guess? We'll see what they have in their hand. Okay, so Chrome Mox, which means they are going to be able to... I could take the Chrome Mox, then they play the Mountain, and then I can, like, maybe leave cards up next turn? Yeah, I think... So hopefully they just don't draw a... hopefully they don't draw a Soul Land. If they draw a Soul Land, this game might just be over right now. So I'm open to maybe I played that wrong. Okay, there's a Lackey. My client is being super laggy for whatever reason right now. Rebel Master, so okay. Well, I think first things first, let's play our Gurmag Angler. Or I could just kind of leave up the mana to cast Petty Theft if I have to. I think Angler's probably safe. However, if we do get Blood Moon, then that's kind of game over. So it's actually, I could Ponder here, or I could play the Delver. Ponder potentially finds us like a Daze, but Delver kind of adds to our clock in case we do just get Blood Mooned or something. I think I might actually Ponder here. Ponder seems like maybe the better play. So there's a Shadow, a Delver, and a Marsh Flats. I think I will keep that. So if I get Blood Mooned here, I am basically just dead. But we'll see. Okay, they just passed. That's very good for me. Now things get really gnarly because we play our Death Shadow. We Fatal Push their Lackey. Or I don't know if we even need to do that just yet. I think we might even just leave Fatal Push. Leave up the mana for Fatal Push. Next turn we're drawing a land, which can make our shadow even bigger. Okay, there's City of Traders. It is a Goblin Chieftain. +1/+1 and have haste. Yep, I think I'm fine with that. So I think the best thing to do in this case is we play the Marsh Flats, we crack it. Make our shadow bigger. Pay the 2 life. We push the Chieftain. We leave up the Petty Theft. Oh, okay, they scoop. So, Goblin Stompy here. On the draw. I feel like Thoughtseize is not as good on the draw. I feel like we need a lot of answers to Chalice, so I'm bringing in the forces, all of them. And I could bring in a couple days to increase my blue count. The sort by color here. So we have 19 blue cards right now. Yeah, I think days is actually fine. We're on the draw. Is there anything I don't want? We have a lot of ways of countering a Chalice. We have a lot of ways to counter a Blood Moon. I'm going to pause this really quick because I have to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm back. Let's see. We're playing against Goblin Stompy. I feel like this is probably fine, so I'm just going to submit this. So this hand does not have any way to answer a turn 1 Chalice. I'm going to mulligan it. This hand also can't answer a turn 1 Chalice. But it is like a pretty good hand, so I'm kind of afraid to mulligan this. Because if they don't have the turn 1 Chalice, then we have like a pretty solid Brainstorm. They kept... Gosh, if they have a Chalice, it's just over, but like, I don't feel like I can mulligan this hand. I think I'm going to keep it. If they have the Chalice, they have the Chalice. There's a Lackey, sure. So I'm kind of hoping to draw a Snuff Out here. Snuff Out would probably be the best case scenario. I think Watery Grave untapped. We will pay 2 life. And I could Brainstorm now, or I could wait. I guess I'll just wait. We'll see what they do. Damn. No answer for that Goblin Lackey. We did not find the Snuff Out. We did find a Fatal Push. I'm going to put Flooded Strand of Marsh Flats back on top. So hopefully they don't have anything too scary to put in. If they do, then that might be the end of this match, or the end of this league. Even Plague Engineer on Goblins might be up as Muxus. Just 1 second here. Gonna try and get my dog to be quiet. Alright. So, this is definitely a spooky situation here. We've got multiple lackeys. His hand is literally full of cards. I think we need to kill a lackey. Even if we do, there's kind of no way we get to play our shadow. I think the play here is to crack this Marsh Flats. Get the Underground Sea. I don't feel like him is very good. They have too many cards in hand. I think we just pass, and we're going to have to... I guess Eliminate might be the best thing to use right now on one of the lackeys. We're going to take a pretty big hit, though. But, of course, next turn we'll be able to play the Plague Engineer, which will be pretty good. Going to be difficult, though. This is pretty backbreaking to recover from. Just not having the answer to the Goblin Lackey on turn 1 was a pretty big deal. Everything is happening with a bit of lag for me, so I'm hearing the sounds of the game, but I cannot see what they're actually putting in there. And they've put a Goblin Chieftain, which is most unfortunate because I think the only way I can really okay, let's think about this. If I play the Fatal Push on the Chieftain after cracking my Marsh Flats, then Shadow can block Muxus. And then at least I stay alive. I think I have to do that. Yeah. I just have to do that. So I have to fetch an Underground Sea here. And I think maybe I can even... So I'm going to have to play the Death Shadow no matter what. That's... like, I just have to. And... I have to Fatal Push that Chieftain. I have to ponder. None of that is good enough. And I have to block the Muxus, obviously. But my Death Shadow should be able to survive that. Muxus is going to get +3/+3, become a 7/7. Is it for every other goblin you control? Yeah, okay. Stressful. Okay. Shadow will block. Shadow will survive. Then we're going to be at 2, and then I play the Plague Engineer. Okay. We will see what goblins he puts in from his 2 Goblin Lackey triggers here. If they happen to be lords, then I think that's just the end. Oh, geez. Yeah, well, at the very least I can do this, but it's over because he has a lord. And even if he didn't, if he just had Krenko, that'd be pretty scary too, because then I can't really attack with anything. But oh well, that's just how it goes, I guess. Maybe I could have kept that early hand that did not have the out to Chalice. I think maybe I sort of tunneled on that not having an out to Chalice aspect, and like one of those earlier hands could have been fine. Kind of weirded out by the lag that I'm experiencing too, because my internet is seems to be fine, at least according to my router. Man, just off of a single Cavern of Souls, though, the whole game can just be ruined. Yeah, it's over. I'm just gonna concede. Kind of a bummer. I feel like this matchup is actually pretty good. But they're going to be those games when you just don't have the answer to the turn 1 Lackey, and then it just spirals out of control. Alright, so we went to, of course I'm probably going to be able to get reimbursement because I experienced an error in the very middle of the league. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later for another league.